everybody, and welcome back to Cooking It Real. If you're new here, my name is Kathy, and I'm so glad you're joining me in the kitchen. Well, today I have something that is old as the hills, but brand new to me. What could that be? But before I tell you, I want to just say one thing. I'm just going to make a little announcement. So many of you have been with me from the very beginning, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You have kept me going and been such a support and help to me. But recently, I've had an influx of brand new subscribers, and it put me over my goal of 1,000. And I am so happy. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoy the channel. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you keep commenting. I hope you keep watching. And I hope you keep cooking it real. Okay, now to the business at hand. What is old as the hills, but brand new to me? I'll give you a hint. It's a dessert. Could be anything. All right, I'm going to give you a very big hint. It's a pie. It's a fruit pie. What kind of fruit pie is old as the hills, but Kathy's never, not just made it, I've never even had it. Never even tasted it. Brand new to me. Rhubarb pie. Not just rhubarb pie, strawberry rhubarb pie. Now you may say, what do you mean you never had strawberry rhubarb pie or rhubarb pie? Yeah, never have. No, I haven't. But my husband has, and he's kind of a country boy, and he's been talking about this type of pie since I've known him practically. I guess way back in the day when he was a kid, one of his aunts, I think it was Aunt Marlene, made a pie like this for him, and it made such an impact on him. He's been talking about it ever since. Well, why haven't I made a rhubarb pie for him? Well, it's a pretty good answer, I think. First of all, I can't find rhubarb. I mean, I don't grow it, and I don't know anybody that grows it, and I never see it at the store. Well, this past weekend, he and I took a trip down to Atlanta, and we went to our DeKalb Farmers Country Market, which is, it's like my supermarket Disneyland. I absolutely love that place. They have everything. Possibly want, including rhubarb. And rhubarb is in season now. So, score. I got some rhubarb, and I promised to make him a pie. And here we go. I'm going to start with my crust. If you've been with me all this time, you know that I use the Martha Stewart pate brisée butter pie crust. And I need crust, double crust, so top and bottom. And I'm going to make it the easy way today, nice and quick, in the food processor. In my processor bowl, I have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I have 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give that quick whir. I have 2 sticks of very cold butter that I have cubed up. See that? We're just going to put that in. Okay, let's see. Yep, I like that. And now I have 1/4 to 1/2 cup of very cold water that I'm going to add slowly while it's running. And I just kind of eyeball this. Depends on the day how much water I'm going to need. So this is a 1/2 cup measure. I'm floating some ice cubes in it. Got regular water. Here we go. All right, that's almost there. What I want is, I want it to sort of hold together. It needs a little bit more water, I think. There we go. That's it. Okay. Now, we're going to divide this into two, one top, one bottom. Going to wrap it in plastic, put it in the fridge, and let it rest for about an hour. I did a video where I made pie crust in a little bit more depth, and I did it 3 different ways. You want to find that one, just go to my channel. It's my apple pie video. All right, I'm going to divide this sort of in half, more or less. All right. Okay, wrap you up into the fridge for an hour. So, this being my first rhubarb experience, I had to do some research. And what I found for recipes was a million different ways to cook this very simple pie. So I picked one, and I'm kind of going to go with that, but I'm going to take a little bit from a couple other ones that interested me, and hopefully everything will work out fine. So bottom line is I need about 5 cups of fruit for this pie. Now this right here is a 4-cup measure. So I'm going to fill this almost to there with rhubarb. Then I'm going to toss in just a few strawberries just to give it another dimension. And we'll see what we get. I don't know how much I'm going to get out of each stalk. We'll just have to see. All right, after an hour in the fridge, we're ready to roll out our pie crusts. Now, I got a great suggestion from one of y'all who was watching me struggle with trying to roll out a pie crust on a piece of parchment, and the parchment was just sliding here and sliding there, and I was trying to hold it with my belly, and she said, you should use one of those pieces of shelf liner, which I just so happened to have. And she said that it would hold the parchment. And let's see if that works. If it does, could be a game changer. All right, let's get a little bit of flour on here. And now we're going to roll out our bottom crust. Oh my gosh, it works! Oh wow, yeah, that's perfect. I'm loving it. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, we'll take a moment. Mash all this together. This is what happens sometimes. Whoop! Now that was a big one. I need to put more flour on my rolling pin. There we go. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, this is working so well. I'm gonna need to get a bigger piece, that's for sure. But I will look into that. Now, I wish I could remember which one of you lovely viewers sent me this idea, but I am grateful. If it's you, put your name in the comments. And listen, if any of y'all ever see me struggling with something and you have a good idea about how I can work it better, make it better, whatever, please let me know. I love hearing from you. I love learning new things. I mean, this whole thing is a new thing. This rhubarb. Almost there. Yeah, I definitely need a bigger piece, but I'm going to work with this for now here. Love it. Thank you, my dear. So what I want to do is, I'm going to just flip. Put this right in here. Nestle it in. And like I said, this is just a 9-inch pie plate. It's not deep dish. If it was deep dish, I think I would need a bigger bottom crust. But I do have some leftover, so I might have been able to fix it. All right, now see we have a little bit of gap over on this side here. We're just gonna steal from here and put it here, like so. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this in the freezer while we roll out our top crust. Now, we haven't got our fruit ready yet because we don't want to do that too far in advance so it doesn't get too mushy. Oh, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay. Almost done with this one. And we're going to get this one chilling again too before we put it on the pie. Because this is so full of butter, makes the crust so nice and flaky. Absolutely perfect. I do like this crust. And it is my go-to crust now for just about everything. I have a rimmed baking sheet that I am going to bake the pie on, just in case it bubbles over. All right, so that worked out well. So I have, I'd say, about 5 cups of fruit, which is what I was aiming for. And I still have one of the skinny rhubarbs left. So if you have any ideas what I can do with that, let me know. All right, I'm just going to pour this all into a bowl now. And I sort of cut the strawberries in a similar shape, size to the rhubarb, so they'll all kind of be the same. I looked at so many different recipes, having never made this before, and there were some that used 1.5 cups of sugar, some that used 1/2 cup of sugar, you know, because rhubarb itself is very tart, and it needs a little something, something. Now we got the strawberries in there. That's going to give a little bit of something, something, but it needs a little bit more too. So what I have here is like just about 2/3 of a cup of just granulated sugar. And I'm gonna just pour that all in. Now, another thing that I saw in these recipes, everyone used a little bit of salt. It's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And one guy used about the same amount of black pepper. And he said that that just gives like a delicious back note. And I thought, ooh, that sounds good. And then another person used lemon zest. Another person used orange zest. So I'm gonna get a little bit of orange zest going in here and add that to it. Because somehow, even though I don't really even know what rhubarb tastes like, but I think it will go good with orange. What am I basing that on? I got nothing, but I'm just saying. All right, it's about a teaspoon. I'll save the rest of the orange for a snack. All right, that's good enough. Delightful. All right, and then because these are juicy fruits in a fruit pie, sometimes you need something to act as like a thickener. Some recipes used cornstarch, some used tapioca flour, Some used regular all-purpose flour. Some used nothing at all. But I am going to use 1/4 cup of cornstarch. I'm just gonna put that in there, and now we're gonna mix it all together. Get everybody coated with sugar and cornstarch and a little bit of the flavorings. Okay, good. Gonna let this sit for just a minute while I wait for my oven to preheat. Okay. I'm not going to recommend putting this in the freezer like the recipe I'm following said to, because when I took it out, this dough it was very hard and brittle and broke off in various places. And I just, you can put it in the fridge. That'd be a much better idea. So I had to make a few patches, but that's okay because dough is very forgiving and we're cooking it real. Okay. Once you get the crust where you want it and your oven is preheated, let's go ahead and load this fruit into the pie. Ooh, can you see the juices? See those juices there? Awesome. Yes, we want every bit. Every bit. All the juices, all the fruitses. Get those little zesties. Okay. Spread this around. Get it all over to the edges. Nice. I like it. Okay. Next, we're going to take just a couple tablespoons of butter. It can be hard or soft, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to daub them here and daub them there. This is just going to give a little bit more richness to the pie. There have been times, I usually put the butter in for a fruit pie, but there have been times that I've forgotten to do that. Doesn't matter, that it's not that big of a deal, so don't worry. No, don't sweat the small stuff. Okay, is this rhubarb pie something you used to have when you were a kid? Did your granny make it? Your nana? Your mima? Your grandma? This is my first. I can't wait to try it. All right, now I'm gonna get my top crust. Let's get ready for this. I'm just gonna flip it over like we did the other one. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I get some action going, but that's okay. See this right here? We can fix that. Yeah. Get this here. The rest of it looks pretty darn perfect. We get lots of extra too, which is good. I'm just going to do a patch. You know, the goal of a pie is that it tastes great, right? If we get little imperfections here and there, we're just cooking it real. Just cooking it real. All right. So let's see. What am I going to do? I'm going to go around, take off some of the excess. And you don't have to throw this pie crust away, this excess pie crust. You can save it and you can make little when the pie is close to being done, you just take little sections like this, brush them in some butter, sprinkle some cinnamon and sugar on it, throw them in the oven with the pie. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Let's start. Should I start here? I'm going to sort of tuck this in like this. It's kind of thick in some places, not as thick in others. I don't know how Aunt Marlene would have done it. She probably would have done it a little more gracefully, because she probably had done it more than once. But I bet if she got a crack in her pie crust, she'd have done the same thing to fix it. Okay, I'm just sort of rolling this under like so. And then I'm going to just kind of give it a little mush down. Try to hold it together. You can do this with a fork. You can do it in a more fancy way. It's up to you. Now, a lot of recipes that I saw suggested an egg wash over the crust. And I've seen that for other kinds of pies as well. I do an egg wash if I'm doing a savory pie, not a sweet pie. If I'm doing a sweet pie, I like to use either milk or cream. This is half and half. So I'm just brushing this on. And get me some sugar. If you have sanding sugar or turbinado sugar, those are the best ones to use because it's big and crunchy and it shows up nice and pretty. But if you just got granulated sugar, that works good too. And this will give the crust a little bit of golden beauty. And last but not least, don't forget to cut some slits in the middle or wherever you want to cut them to make sure you let the steam escape. And like I said before, you definitely want to put this on a baking sheet, a rimmed baking sheet, so that if it does bubble up, it doesn't make a mess in your oven. Okay? Now, we're going to put this in the oven for 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Then we're going to turn the temperature down to 375 for about 50 to 55 more minutes. All right, here we go. 425. Oh, mercy, y'all. Look at that. Oh. Okay, that was 15 minutes at 425, then 55 minutes at 375. Halfway through the 375 temp, I rotated the pan like this. Now, it says in the recipe that you need your internal contents to be at least 180 degrees. And I am at 206. Yeah, that's hot. So, here comes the hardest part. We gotta let this cool. And I mean cool, like for hours cool. Doesn't it? Okay, so I got the man here, the man whose boyhood rhubarb pie inspired this whole video. So we're gonna see if it lives up to Aunt Marlene's pie. I don't know. But I've told them all, this is my very first time rhubarb pie. Never, ever in my life. In my life.
It looks pretty good.
It does look good. All right, let's cut. Now this has cooled for several hours. So let's see how it has set up. Oh, the first piece is always the hard one. Here we go. Oh, oh, look at that. Oh, I think that's going to be perfect. Oh, yeah, baby, look at that. All right, that one's for you.
Okay.
I'm going to take a little one because I'm scared. No, I'm not really scared. I'm anxious. And now it's the moment of truth. Here's our pie. Ah, I'm excited about how it looks inside. But now I'm going to defer to your...
Oh, it's perfect.
Is it? It's a super tangy tart.
It's not super, but it's definitely tart.
Mm. Mm.
I think
It's very soft.
yes, I think the strawberries took a little bit of the edge off of the rhubarb.
Well, actually, it was about a 4-to-1 ratio, 4 cups of rhubarb to 1 cup of strawberries.
I can definitely taste the strawberry.
Yeah, me too. Mm. And
I can also taste the rhubarb. The rhubarb is very good.
But it's like, is that what rhubarb tastes like? Because it's delicious.
It is delicious.
I love it. I got a new thing, rhubarb. Now we got to grow some. We could.
Maybe. We don't have as long a growing season, so we gotta...
I don't know. I think my grandfather grew rhubarb in New Hampshire, but I could be wrong.
Well, Marlene grew it in Michigan, but she don't grow it in Texas.
Oh. Okay, so maybe it's not a Tennessee thing? I don't know. So, brand new thing for me. Memory for Will. He says it tastes delicious. I think it tastes delicious, but he says it reminds him of what he remembers. So, that's all good to me. So, thanks for joining us, joining us. And until next time, keep cooking it real. Bye, everybody.
This is good.